Today we have a person who's literally come out of a movie called Slumdog Millionaire. He's from Delhi, a middle class boy who has now become the managing partner of one of the leading maritime companies in the world.
Coming from a village, studying under the street light, then there is no home in Delhi. From there, getting a job. I still remember the milk bottle come for $3.45 that time, and then we can only afford 4 bottles in a month.
And you had a baby.
And I had a baby, and then I need to first learn what is called marine chemicals.
Sir, let's go there. How did you learn this?
Marine chemicals?
Yeah, I mean,
Love is necessary, happiness is necessary, but this intangible thing becomes so tangible when you need to fulfill sometime your emotions.
how did you get a company's revenue from $600,000 to $33 million in 7 years?
Now we're more than 50. My father has certain kind of a dream, and then he put in my head, and then I start seeing, oh, this is my dream also. He retired one day. He couldn't have the house because he spent all his saving, all his money on my education, on my sister education. Recently, few years back, when I became the partner in the company, and then I decided I want to give a gift to my dad, a house in the mountain.
What was the toughest part of doing this, sir?
So I just walked down by myself without a security guard. I did that mistake. And then I saw someone just come from behind, and then he just
Snatched?
tried to cut my neck. So I just moved my head like this, and then I asked him what happened, why are you doing this to me? He said, I don't want to argue with you, because if I argue with you, you tell me that you don't want to give me this chain, what you're wearing now. So better I cut your neck and then take it.
Enlightening us with so many values, which even if I use 1% of it in my life practically, and not just listening to this podcast and going away, it can really shape shift my career, also my personal life. Welcome back to the KSN show, where we get you all the fascinating stories from the maritime world. Today I have a guest who is literally from that movie which you have seen, Slumdog Millionaire, a similar story from rags to riches, and how from a middle class Delhi boy he has come to a position as the managing partner of Teco Chemicals, one of the great maritime companies. So much to learn, especially for people in the younger generation who want to become entrepreneurs or have a leadership role in this industry or perhaps any industry. Bringing to you all Gaurav Saini, who took a company whose revenue was $600,000 to $35 million and counting. Let's get straight into the podcast. Gaurav sir, welcome to the KSN show. How are you today?
I'm good. What about you?
Absolutely fine, sir. It's an honor to have you. And you have a wealth of knowledge and experience in the maritime business. And we youngsters who are like the new, you call it Gen Z, Gen X, whatever you call them, we always aspire and inspire to reach a certain position in our lives. It could be a leadership position and make an impact. From whatever I have known you, you made a solid impact in a very wonderful company. And I want you to guide us through today as a middle class boy who I am, as to how you went from that middle class boy to where you are as a managing partner of one of the best maritime companies in the world. So Gaurav sir, rolling it out to you, let me get you to the childhood section. How did it go, sir?
Well, thank you for having me here first. Uh, Childhood, I was a naughtiest kid. So it's I never been into studies. I remember my dad always used to go out and tell me, okay, come back home and study, and same as my mother is. I have a younger sister, and she's so studious. I mean, she was a good student in the school, and she's the one who's always been having really good marks in the school time. So, and she was always been a good student all the time. Me other way around. So I never been into studies, but yes, I somehow managed to follow my father dream to did at least a bachelor degree, which which he really forced me to do it. And then he said, okay, you have to do this particular degree, like Bachelor of Computer Application. And I just did it.
In the meantime, sir, when you compared between your sister, like this exam, and look at her, she's got this many marks, and look at you.
I know he never used to compare me with my sister, but you know, in India during our time, peer pressure is too much. So he always used to say, Malhotra, look at Malhotra's son, look at Gupta's son, look at Sharma's son, how wonderful they are. They're doing this, they're doing that, and look at you where you are, and you're not studying at all. Because he himself come from a small town in Punjab.
Okay.
He worked really very hard. He came to Delhi city to be someone who can raise his family, 2 children, you know, give them a nice and good livelihood. So he was working really hard for that. So he knows that if I want my child to be successful, I need to force them, I need to tell them that you need to study hard, because that's the only way. During our time, that's what it was never being, you know, you have to study hard. If you're not studying hard, you know, you can't get a good job, so you cannot do anything in your life, and you know, you have to beg in front of people for bring a rice ball home. So this is what the time during our period, you know.
So why do you think this happens? Ki, you know, you compare it with other person's children. Do you still see the same trend happening?
No, I don't think so. This time the things have changed.
Hmm.
Like me as a father, I will never do it. I have a young daughter of 11-year-old, and I will never do it with her, because it's time changing, you know. So we need to change according to the time. And I never feel it's my father's fault. It's not my parents' fault. It is how their brains come up with, you know, those kind of ideas, you know, that because they don't want them to suffer so hard the way he has suffered it. Coming from a village, studying under the street light, then there is no home in Delhi, and then asking someone to give one single room, and then from there getting a job, working overtime on weekends, you know. So he has to work like this to at least buy a small house for all of us, and we can stay together.
Do you have any memories from your childhood where you had to perhaps suffer like this? Maybe in a small room, all of you were packed, something like that. Do you want to share?
No, I mean, I what I can only say is that my father used to come very late in the night. It means like he's always been out. I saw him like coming late, like 12. So he left office like 6 o'clock after, because he was working in a government office, and then he left office after 6 o'clock. Then he take a bus or a train to go to someone else place, and then because he's an architect, so
Okay.
to make more drawings and to get extra money, extra cash, so he can send his children to a public school, kind of a thing. So he used to do that for us, and then he always wanted us to do better in our life. So when my father got married, and then he even asked my mother to study more, you know.
Your mother want like to
Yeah.
study.
Is to study
Your
after
mother-
getting married, means like, because he also wanted her to get a better job.
Right.
So my mother then did the bachelor in education line, and then she get a job as a teacher. So he always wanted to give her a respectable position where she can also
Right.
do something for her own self. So that kind of a mindset my father has.
So he's like your number one source of inspiration, if I may say.
I mean, parents are always been there, but he's my chief mentor, you know. So it's a kind of a saying that uh, I was always been living my father's dream.
Hmm.
And my father has certain kind of a dream, and then he portrayed that dream in my dream. He put in my head,
Right.
and then I start seeing, oh, this is my dream also.
Sir,
So-
I think I personally feel that this happens with most of us. I'll be very honest. I never wanted to join the merchant navy as a first priority. My father had an inspiration for me to join the shipping. So he's from the army background. I wanted to get into the army,
Yeah.
but no, you get into shipping. So I think you and I share perhaps the similar story, and most of us who watch this also have the same story.
Yeah.
So, what do you think was your inspirational point at that time as a child, which transitioned you from what your father's dream was to what your dream was?
I mean, like I mentioned, until my bachelor degree, I even don't know whether I want to do a bachelor degree. So my father told me you have to do this bachelor degree. And then suddenly I finished my bachelor degree. I start realizing that my father is asking me to do MCA, Master of Computer Application now. And I do not want to study MCA. And then I decided, okay, what I'm good in at. So I thought that if I could get a degree in a business administration or in marketing in general, then I think I could really make a difference. So then I got an admission in an MBA school, and then my father says, "Oh, you want to be a salesman now?" So I said, "You can get a technical knowledge, be a computer, get a nice IT job, back end. Don't take pressure of this sales thing." And that I said, "No, I think I want to do that." So I thought that I need some challenges, and I believe if I can have that kind of a challenge,
Right.
I think I can do something in my life.
So, like, computer was not the challenge which you were seeking.
I think I don't want to even study that. So I just want to do. Then I decided, okay, I'm good in. I'm good in talking to people,
Hmm.
and I need a kind of a stamp,
Hmm. Right.
an education stamp that can at least get me a job. Because if you don't have a master degree during our time in 2004, 3, it's very difficult to get a job. It's very difficult to get even a campus placement.
Were you getting bad marks in your bachelor's time?
Always.
Always. I'll share one small thing. Tell me if you are relating it with it. In 11th class, I didn't want to take PCM, but I had to because, as I said, my father wanted me to go into merchanting. So I still remember in physics, I got half out of 50. And that paper I tried to hide in my bag, ekdam niche, ekdam, in the lower pouches of the bag. And my mother found it. And when she found it, she came running and I knew something is wrong. So I went into the bathroom, locked the door. She broke the door, came inside and gave me one dhap. He, what is this number? आपके साथ भी ऐसा हुआ है?
Hmm. The subject I get the really bad marks that was Hindi. So I really don't know what to write.
Like blank.
No, so then last night I was watching Mahabharat.
Okay.
So I just wrote Mahabharat there. So I didn't read I didn't read the question, what the question is all about.
Yeah.
I see 2 pages of blank. I need to put something there. So I just write on Mahabharat. And then my mother was teaching in the same school. So my Hindi teacher, asked my mother to pay a visit to her, and then they both are discussing, look what Gaurav has did it. The question is all about something different, and then what is his writing? So I didn't get even any marks. So I'm better. I think you're better than me.
I'm little better.
Yeah, you're a little bit better than me.
Great, sir. I think that was a good one that she shared. How did that drive come into you that you want to go into business, sales, and marketing? Like, you had some mentor at that time, or you looking at something? This is good
No, actually, I was just looking for a bike,
for a bike, motorcycle.
motorcycle.
Mm.
So my father says, when you get a job, I will buy you a bike. So I said, okay. And then all these salespeople need a bike or a scooter to go for their meetings.
Rocket Singh type.
Yeah. So I said that, okay, get me a bike. And I got a sales job, Then I'm a salesman now. And then I'm selling something which people really, they have no base to sell.
What was it, sir?
I was selling a B2B product.
B2B is what, sir? Sorry.
B2B is business to business product, which is related to not to a direct consumer. So we can create a market, online market.
Okay.
And then there is a website. We need to sell the website on our domain name.
Okay.
And we need to sell that website for someone who's a trader.
Trader
So-
in terms of
Trader, for example, if you want to sell anything like a flower, like you want to sell a books, or you want to sell clothes and jewelry, anything. So you can say, I'm importing this from this country, and you put it on the website, then you put up a price, and then people. And that time the online market was just
starting.
starting and catching up.
What year was this, sir?
It was 2005.
Okay.
And December. when I joined this company, 2005. So it's just started. It was really booming up. We were the competitor of many other companies like Alibaba and all those things.
Right.
And we are an Indian-based company, and I was selling website solutions.
Okay.
And then I used to go and meet clients somewhere in India, and somewhere in Delhi NCR, and then used to sell them a product which we do not have it in physical, and we are the most expensive service provider in India.
Oh.
And then we need to sell that particular product to this particular person who even don't know what is website.
So how did that skill come into you? Like, you are from computer science background. How did that skill come inside you that you could sell something to a person, just out of the willingness to do marketing and sales?
So I mean, it's something come from your heart. So you're sitting with someone and then you're trying to explain them. So I don't really sell them a product. I always try to sell them a service and what they could achieve from there. Because it's a kind of selling a kind of a dream,
A value.
a dream. Like, okay, for example, you will get this number of inquiries and then you're promoting yourself, and this is a particular product that you not even intend to buy it in front. Like, okay, you can post it, you don't have it, you can increase your lead time, and then you can start generating with promoting it on the Google with a certain SEO keyword, search engine optimization keyword. So
Right.
start promoting it, and then we will help you to generate those. So sometimes for them, to make them feel better, I have to give them some kind of a
Incentive or
not the incentive. To be very honest, then we need to sell them some inquiries. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Gaurav, we received 2 inquiries yesterday. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. You can get an inquiry anytime you want. And then I was not selling them something, a fake product, but I was just trying to tell them, because they're not ready to accept it. They always wanted the typical mindset of having a store sitting there, then the customer will come to you.
Because it's very hard for someone to digest that there is something online,
Online.
is not there tangible in a physical form.
In a physical form.
Similar, like whatever is happening right now also in 2024, we are sitting, everything is digital. Now we understand, okay, digital assets also have value like NFTs and all of that. But at that time, 2005, hats off. I don't know how you.
We were having a great revenue, and I used to give those account. Those are already stopped. Means like they got relegated from our database.
Okay.
Means like, okay, people do not want to renew next year, so we have a renewal of these website,
Okay. So
and they don't want to renew it. So give all these things to Gaurav now.
Okay.
Let he go and sell them again or get it renewed. So they are giving me those kind of a thing, which is a bit difficult.
did you enjoy it?
Yeah, actually, that's what I'm saying, this challenge. So during our time is that I still remember my first salary was 9,450 rupees. My first salary. And that time they used to tell me, okay, if you sell 2 lakh rupees of a website solution every month, you get 9,450 rupees. If you sell 8,400, if you sell 1,70,000, you will get 9% less salary, because your target is less than what we ask you to do it. But if you sell 2,50,000 rupees of a website solution, then we will give you 20% of a bonus, means 20% of additional salary.
Got it. And at this time, your friends, who are from your bachelor's time, must be getting decent money, right?
I think so, yes. They must be getting.
Did you feel that regret that why did I come into this? Otherwise, my friends who are from the technical side now are earning more. Had you had that instance?
Actually, it's never been earning more. Means all my friends and whoever I know in this industry, they always been earning more than me. It's me who was always been less in a paycheck. But my first job was really nice, really very good. So I would say that.
So you would value that experience and skill more than money at that time.
Yes, money. At that time, money. I never even thought about what is money actually, because I never thought that okay, I need to make more money or this money. I mean, I always thought that okay, I want to learn more. So my focus is more on learning than making money.
Okay. So from that encounter with that job, how did you come to a stage where you got a job from Africa? Like it is very strange for me to hear this.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I was into B2B sector and then I got a job in FMCG, fast
FMCG.
moving consumer goods.
Sorry, any example for the audience? What is FMCG?
FMCG means like you're having toothpaste, you're having tea, biscuits, anything for consumption and for the daily use.
Right.
So it's called fast moving consumer goods. So I was into that industry and I was not joining that industry. I mean, I was not even aware about any kind of a job. So my senior who was in my first job, so this offer came to him
Okay.
and he said that, Gaurav, are you interested to go abroad?
Challenge.
So I never asked him which part of Africa.
Mm.
And I
Because
say yes.
it is very important.
And I say yes.
You said yes.
And I said yes. And then he get me the interview and then I clear the interview and it was clear like this. So I
Okay.
have no idea
Ah,
how quick
transition.
it shouldn't be like that. They have only talked to me and then they hired me.
Mm.
So I said yes. And then they asked me to come to Africa.
Where in Africa, sir?
So that's a catch.
Yeah.
I went to West Africa. I went to Monrovia, Liberia.
I will just pause for a second and tell you about West Africa from a maritime aspect.
Yeah.
Since the past 4 years, I have been in Africa, sailing in Africa, especially West Africa, Nigeria, Cotonou, this Benin, and all of that. And it is not the safest place to be at. Why I'm saying this, that it is a very big thing for you to be on land, because on land I've heard stevedore speaking about how they survive day to day without money and how the robberies and armed piracy and all of that happens. How did you manage that from a relatively safe place Delhi to Africa?
So when I landed in Africa, so I have first experience was at the custom. So they open my bag and then they start taking out all the clothes and you know Indian mother. If we forget to put clothes, it's fine.
Yeah.
But she never forget to put a pickle inside.
Seeds and pickles.
Yeah. So she put a big pickle box there.
Ah.
And then they said, oh, what is this? What is this? What is this? And then suddenly there is a guy who came to pick me up and then he gave him $5 and then they said, okay, you can go now. So then I left. And then I saw the entire street is dark.
Mm.
And then I asked him, why there's no street light?
Mm.
He said, what are you talking about? There's no street light. There is no electricity in this country. Oh, this country is on generator. I said, okay. Seriously? He said, yes. This country is on generator. Oh, I went, they took me to the office apartment and the generator was running definitely. So there's electricity in the apartment. And then I opened the tap. There was a tap there, but there's no water. He said, though, there's no water supply. So the water, if you look at the bucket next to you with a big kind of a drum, big water gallon, 20, 30 gallon. So the water is there inside. So they used to bring the water from across like near to the seaside, social. And then they need to fill up in this jerry cans. And then they come up on their shoulder, like 10 kilometers or a walk. And then they fill into your this 20, 30 gallon. And this come with the full of sand. And then you need to filter it. And then you need to put an antiseptic or disinfection so that you can take a shower out of it. So how you going to brush your teeth? And so for that, you need to buy a mineral water. And that's my company sells. So that's not a problem.
So that was your company's solution which you wanted, which you were for that.
Yeah. So so I went to that particular company to work for them. And my boss he's still alive, but yes, my ex-boss, he's really good guy. He's a very good human being. and he really supported me because I'm the only guy who come up with a master degree to work in Navy, that part of Monrovia. And he said, Gaurav, you have joined me, and then this and that. He's a very rich guy,
Okay.
multi-billion guy.
Okay.
And so he said that, and I asked him that, what's going on with my job? He said, okay, then we're going to talk tomorrow morning. So he came to meet me and say me hello, and then he left.
Mm.
And then next morning when I went back to office, so I saw him, and then we met, we talked, we discussed, and then I went to my warehouse. So we are selling 545 product that time.
545.
545. And different kind of SKUs of each product. Like if mayonnaise comes in 12 ounce, 8 ounce, 1 gallon.
Okay.
So this is SKU, and then you have 545 product, like from tomato ketchups to your diapers to the tea to the beer to water to the wines. And then you need to sell this particular product
Mm.
to the supermarket and to the stores around Monrovia.
What was the toughest part of doing this, sir?
So I remember that I need to go to certain kind of places, and there are 75 stores on that street, and it's raining because Monrovia, Liberia,
Yes.
it rains a lot, and when it's pour heavily, and you need to wear a raincoat, and then you need to carry a bag with you, and you need to go store to store. Then you need to check on the shelf what the product they're putting on the shelf, what they're not putting on the shelf, and what is in the warehouse. So you need to see that. Plus, you have account receivable, how much money he didn't pay you,
Okay.
and then you start telling him this is the product that you don't have. So I'm booking this for you. How much quantity do you want? And I try to sell him more because I want my product to be on the shelf all the time. And then you need to collect the money back from him. So it is like $100,000-$200,000 a sale a day. And then they give you currency like $5, $10, $100, $50 bills. You need to count that money by yourself.
Okay.
I need to make sure you're not bringing counterfeit back to the office. If you bring, that's your responsibility, and you need to pay from your pocket.
Mm.
You need to count that money. So I need to even close my eyes. I need to feel it with my own hand. It's a $5, it is a $10, it's a $50, it's a $100 bill.
So you.
So I count it by my own hand. Then I need to pack in my bag. I need to make sure that nobody will kill me while coming back.
Yes, I was coming to that. That were you not scared of the security?
Yeah, it's there. So, but then we need to give certain kind of a bribe to each the gang sitting there. So they should not touch me. They should know which car number plate I have, who I am, where I work.
Okay.
So, and they should not disturb me. So I had a bad experience in the beginning because being an Indian, your mother always say, okay, I want to give you a certain kind of a gift. So you wear this, you wear that.
Yeah.
So he give me something, not a gold, it's something artificial, something thing is not very expensive, maybe 200 or 300 rupees that time, or 400 rupees.
Mm.
And then I was just wearing it, so I was not aware. It's the second day in Monrovia. So I just walked down by myself without a security guard. I did that mistake. And then I saw someone just come from behind, and then he just
Snatched.
no, he just tried to cut my neck. So
Oh.
yeah, so I just moved my head like this, and then I asked him what happened, why are you doing this to me? He said, I don't want to argue with you, because if I argue with you, you tell me that you don't want to give me this chain, what you're wearing now. So better I cut your neck and then take it.
Oh.
So I need to just take it out and give it to him. And I said, okay, can I go now? He said, now you can go. So I have seen those days in my.
Were you married that time?
No, I was not married that time. I got married in 2008, but I went to 2006 or 7 to
Okay.
Monrovia.
So you did you always wanted to get back to India from that place, or?
No, actually, I learned a lot from there.
Okay.
Okay, because when you see so much of poverty around you,
Mm.
people are smiling.
Beautiful.
So when I see these young little boys walking on the street, they have a very nice smile on their face.
Mm.
They doesn't know what is called poverty, They doesn't know who's who, but still they're smiling, they're happy.
Mm.
And so I learned that from these small kids or anybody walking on the street. I learn a hard work, how hard work that these guys do. We have 100 people working for us in our warehouse.
Mm.
They're carrying at least 2,000 kg on their shoulder every day from the truck
Mm.
on the road to the warehouse.
Absolutely.
Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Sir, I have seen that on bulk carriers. where they bring rice, pockets of bags of rice, hand carrying it from ship or down to the gangway, loading it manually onto a 2 meter truck. I think when you see it, like you said, only then you realize how lucky you are in the position you are.
So then I feel like, okay, if they can work so hard, why can't I? So, and then one day, I know my wife from before, and then we decided we need to get married. And that's make me to go back to India.
You think it's a best thing happened?
I went back to India,
Yeah.
but again, like I said, they didn't accept me. The India didn't accept me because they said I don't have a much experience in India, so I didn't get a job there in India.
Oh,
I was struggling for a year to even to get a job back home.
after this experience
After
of
this all this experience, then I was struggling because they always sometimes some people judge the book by its cover. You have a master degree, it's fine, but
experience.
you don't have an experience in India. You only have 1.5 years, 2 years of experience of India. So I will not give you more than 5,000, 6,000 rupees or 8,000 rupees per month. And it's very difficult sometimes to even manage. Forget about the money, you can't even getting a job. So I've given several interviews, but every time I was being failed because of no experience in India.
So how were you surviving that time mentally?
Okay, so it was a very painful period for me. I went through a lot because it was not much support I could get it, but I have a biggest support because my wife, she was supporting me all throughout. She said it's no problem. I earn it.
Okay.
It's okay. So it's not a problem. But I always feel like, okay, why she has to go and earn and then I need to sit home and wait for her to bring the money back home. But she always tell me that, what if it is me? So you will do it for me. So
Right.
I agreed to that point and then I said, no worries. So my boss was not happy because I left.
Yeah.
I left Monrovia and come back.
Yeah.
So my boss took 1 year
Okay.
to accept my apology.
1 year he didn't speak to you?
Yeah. He didn't speak to me. So then he put up a condition that if I'm coming there, I should at least come for 3 years. Or
If
4
you
years.
come back again. So of course that would have been like a very big no for you because you have a wife now.
Yeah.
And
So I said, okay, please bring me back because I worked for a few years in that company and I feel, okay, I need to go back to Africa now. So I was very happy to go back, but he said, so my wife is joining me this time. So we went back.
oh, you went back?
I went back to Africa and I started working there again.
Oh,
The same company. But my boss lowered down my designation because he want to show that I did a big mistake of leaving him. But I grew up from there. I have launched several products
in
in
that
Monrovia.
company.
Yeah, a private label.
So what is private label for?
For example, like we need to bring tea or oil or anything, we bring it in our brand name, in our brand
Capacity.
trademark.
Okay.
So so we start giving name to a product in the tea, and then we want to bring tomato ketchup in this name, or we want to bring a diapers in this name. So my role was that I need to find a market where I can export this particular product. I need to make sure I can sell this particular product in this country with this much of minimum margins. What is the brand? What is the tagline of this product? What is the brand name of this product? What is the color combination of the outside box?
That also matters.
That also matters. People should like it. Quality of the product, and where you need to import it. And then how much you will sell in next 2 years.
Okay.
And how you're going to market it.
Okay.
So this was my
Role.
that time. So I grew up from that role to manage a team of marketing and the sales.
Okay.
And then I went back to the same position next to my boss in 2 years' time again.
Oh, Okay, but it still took you 2 years back to come back to the same position.
Yeah, I have to downgrade myself
Yeah.
and then go back to the same position again.
Sir, does this happen frequently in the corporates?
It's happens. It happens. Is all about gaining back the trust of your employer, because it's really matter. And I know it was my fault. I should not leave that company, but I have no choice. I have to get married. I have to go back to India, and then
Right.
I feel kind of a homesickness because I've never been
Outside.
away from the home. Even during my education time, I've always been living with my parents. So
Okay.
it's the first time for me, but I learned it hard.
But hats off to you, sir. To get back to Africa first with the wife to a downgraded position and then rising up to the same level and more. Uh, let's go to the maritime side of it, because as we've discussed, so far maritime has not come into the picture of Gaurav Saini. How did maritime come into your perspective?
I think that's a lady luck,
Okay.
and that's my daughter.
Okay.
Yeah. So she born, and then again, I want to leave Africa, and the Ebola hit same period, and I don't want to stay in Ebola in Africa.
Right.
So I came back to Delhi, India back, and then in no time I got a job
Okay.
in Singapore, and I was very thankful that I got a job in Singapore. So, and then I came to Singapore. It's a maritime company where I only worked for 7 to 8 months or 9 months.
Did you like Singapore?
Okay, so I worked in India, I worked in Africa, and I worked in Singapore. So Singapore, my first 9 months as in a country, is a very beautiful country, and I don't believe there is any other country could be better than Singapore. This is how I feel it.
I also feel so.
And it's so safe, everything. But during that job period, I have seen the worst days of my life for the first 8 months.
Why?
That too in Singapore.
Why so?
I was struggling with the job in the first 8 to 9 months. I work hard. I still remember that I still remember I was telling my wife even a few days back that we still remember that the milk bottle come for $3.45 that time, and then we can only afford 4 bottles in a month.
And you had a baby.
And I had a baby, and if you need to travel in Singapore, the maximum that you can afford is to get into the bus. And well, the Singapore buses are top notch. It's no issues to be traveling bus on MRTs or the trains. But I couldn't able to bring my family to any of the shopping mall because I can't afford to do that. And that's something I started with. And the life there was during those 8 months was very, very, very difficult for me. So I decided that I cannot work here.
Okay.
So I thought, okay, fine. If that's the case, then it's fine. But I don't know. One day somebody give me a call. But during those 8 months, what I did is that I made people to know me in maritime sector.
How did you do that, sir? How?
One game make me to do that. That's cricket.
Cricket.
Yeah.
Okay, in Singapore.
In Singapore. So I joined. Not I joined this. I was welcomed into this cricket club.
Okay.
I don't have money to pay in the match fee, so they used to pool money for me.
Oh, you have to pay money to play that match.
Yeah, play matches. So not matches, but the play for the club team.
Okay.
And then you need to pay $25 for every game. I don't have $25 because I hardly have money even to take a taxi to go to the cricket ground. How you will pay $25 for a cricket game? So I'm very thankful to those people who has shared money for me. So it goes to
Right.
the team kitty, and then you start paying $5, $4, $3, and then you start paying this match fee for Gaurav. So what in the return I need to do? I need to make them win the
Win the
match.
match.
That's to my batting.
You're good at cricket, sir?
And I'm not saying I'm very good at cricket, but I can play a decent game.
Okay.
And so I play like, if I can survive on the wicket, if I play 20 balls, then I can score 50 runs.
Who's your favorite cricketer?
I always love Sachin Tendulkar,
Sachin, the epitome of.
epitome. So I always love him. And yes, I love Sehwag. Recently I love Virat. I love Surya Kumar Yadav.
So, any properties from these cricketers you have imbibed in yourself for your professional journey also?
Cricket, to my professional journey, is play a biggest role because I've been playing with cricket with only those people who are from maritime sector.
Hmm. So that's how you got into maritime.
Yeah, that's how I got into maritime.
Wow.
Playing cricket. So I got to know someone from the cricket.
Hmm.
So this guy called me one day and said that, Gaurav, I have a job for you.
Okay.
It's a Norwegian company called Tico Chemicals.
Hmm.
They're looking for a salesman.
Right.
That's true from the Indian community. And that's true who at least know Indians in Singapore. And the cricket gave me for this 8-9 months of
Exposure.
exposure. So they said there's a job, and then they're not looking particularly from
Any national.
any industry. They're looking for somebody who can do sales, who's a hardcore sales guy.
Right.
And that always in my blood. And then I gave the interview online, and then they asked me, do you need to come for a final round to Norway?
Okay.
I said, I don't have money to buy ticket.
Yeah.
I don't have nothing to do anything. He
Yeah.
said, we will buy your ticket. We will ask you to come to Norway. And then I decided, I need to fly to Norway.
Hmm.
And then I don't have money to buy a jacket.
Oh, yeah. Norway. Minus 10, 20, I'm sure.
-5 degree on that day. 9th of January 2015.
Okay.
I don't have money. So my wife said that she has saved $70.
$70.
70. So let's go buy you a jacket. So we went to a normal store somewhere. And and then she said, okay, let's buy you this jacket. And then at least you should have a jacket to go to Norway,
Hmm.
And that's a summer jacket.
Oh, that is the only thing you could afford that time.
That's the only thing I could afford. So I took that jacket and I changed at the airport. I went for the interview. So I go meet the owner of the company. And he was like a Superman running here and there. So he's taking interview like this, going out, coming in, going out, coming in, going out, coming in.
Hmm.
And then suddenly he came and said, okay, we will hire you.
Oh.
But don't waste your time on these clients. They will not give you business.
Okay.
So I know why he said that. I realized it after 7 months, 8 months after I joined Tico.
Okay.
And then he said, okay, a lot of you are hired. You can join back. So I went back to Singapore.
In the Singapore office.
In the Singapore office. So this Tico Chemicals was partnered with some other company in the past. And one day, several people has separated. And then this company has opened another company in Singapore. So all of them has resigned.
Okay.
And Tico lost entire business from 2011 to 2014.
So it was like a struggling time for the company when you joined.
So company is about to close.
Company was about to close in 2015.
15 means like they said, if somebody is not ready to work for them or they don't get anything, they don't want to focus on here.
So what gave you that motivation to join a struggling company?
Well, I don't have a job. I
Right.
was looking for a rice ball, and so it gave me a chance
Hmm.
to give a better life to my daughter in Singapore.
So you have, yeah,
So that was my motivation.
okay.
And the thing that I cannot do it in my life, I can at least give it to her.
That's why you call her Lady Luck.
That's a really luck.
Beautiful.
So yeah, she came to my life, then the things changes.
So at that time, did you envision or had a visualization that I am going to take Tico from a struggling company almost going to be shut to one of the biggest firms in profitability and sustainability?
No, I thought that, I tell myself that from now onwards, I will not eat, I will not drink, I will not sleep, I will only work.
How many hours did you work, sir, in a day?
20 hours and 4 hours of restless sleep.
Restless sleep.
Yeah.
Okay. It's quite heavy, sir. Just imagining.
Because I am the only guy who need to do operation, who need to do sales, who need to do accounting, who need to do billing, who need to do everything. I could be a guy who's a warehouse guy as well. So I could be anyone.
So you
Could
were
do any of the role.
any role.
Any role. And then I need to work Europe hours, I need to work US hours, I need to work Asia hours because I'm sitting in Singapore.
Right.
And then I need to tell everybody, yes, sir.
Hmm.
Yes.
Did you find a gap at that time in the company that you thought you can fulfill that and make this company better?
Now?
I mean, during that time in 2015, when you were in the company,
Yeah.
did you find a gap, or perhaps you found a place where you can improve and get this company to a better place?
Actually, I never thought about that during that time.
Hmm.
You know, I was trying to focus on doing things which I'm good at.
Hmm.
I was trying to meet as much as people I could because we have lost most of the information. We don't have any. I don't have any information. So I need to do everything by myself. I need to first learn what is called marine chemicals.
Sir, let's go there. How did you learn this?
Marine chemicals?
Yeah, I mean, where?
I mean,
Yeah.
it's something people in the time taught me.
Okay.
So there is no way to go back.
Hmm.
Either you want to go back and live a life which give you, which bring you and your family to that level that you never want them to be, or become a teacher by yourself and taught yourself.
Beautiful.
So just start learning, seeing everybody. There's one guy who was from this industry who I met every day during my Tico time, every evening.
Okay.
He was very senior guy.
Hmm.
And then he used to tell me, you don't know it, you don't know this, you don't know that.
Oh,
This is
every
what-
evening.
Every evening. You cannot do this, you cannot do that. I said, I did this. This is not the way. Instead of telling me, okay, this is the way, or this, you can do this. But I respect him because anything what he was saying me, I was listening. From there, I learned chemical tanker cleaning.
And here you are, sir.
So he taught me chemical tanker cleaning in a way.
Wonderful.
In a way. How many tanks are, how many slop tanks there are, what about machines, fixed machines, portable machines, what they are, shadows areas, how to cover those shadows areas, with how much solution we need to make, you know.
What do you think, sir, during this time was the toughest part to learn about the maritime industry? Like you were learning about chemical tankers and bulkers. What do you think was the toughest part to understand in this industry?
The toughest part, I believe, to get anybody's head to accept whatever you're saying is right.
Is
Right.
right.
Because
Hmm.
they have their own kind of a mindset. Being a sailor, being on the ship, coming to shoreside, they feel that they know everything.
Beautifully said, sir. Wonderful. It is true.
And then it's, to me, it feel like if you know everything, then
Yeah.
I can't say anything about it. But to make sure that you should understand me as well is a thing. So I try to learn what is going into their head.
Sir, I will give you a personal anecdote. Uh, being a sailor myself, we work in a very structured environment which is organized. And if you tell me go to A, I will go to A. If you tell me go to B, I will go to B. And that's the level of understanding operation we have, which is good enough for taking a vessel safely. But now, what I understand slowly, getting into the shore department requires more innovation and creativity, and to think out of the box, to channelize. And I think that is what you are also trying to say, that
Yeah.
you need to have more open mindedness to understand maybe this person, what he's saying is right and it can work.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right, sir. So, what I also understand, sir, from 2015, Tico was more into sales driven, like sales driven channel, but you or perhaps the team took a initiative to turn it into a what you call turnkey operation, right?
Yeah. So in we had different kind of a phases. So in 2015 we start selling only marine chemicals. So it's all about like you want to clean any CPP cargo, you want to clean any DPP cargo, you want to clean veg oil,
So, what is CPP and DPP?
clean petroleum product, dirty petroleum product. So if you're doing a conversion, what kind of a chemical you need to sell? We're just focusing on selling chemicals.
Okay.
You ask any brand name or said my brand name is this, and then you sell that particular product. So this was our focus because we don't have any kind of a revenue in 2015.
Okay.
So our focus is to go out to the customer and talk to them and at least tell them that we also sell this particular chemical. Please buy from us. They were buying from us in the past, but they stopped buying it for last 4 years.
Okay.
And then it's very difficult for them to rebuy it. So
Right.
but then we need to go to the process of IMO approval. We need to get a process of, we would always been IMO approved, but we need to get process of coating manufacturer approvals. We get into all those kind of stuff, the paperwork, which I did it when I joined Tico, because this is what people have told me to do it. So like I mentioned, the cricket gave me a lot.
Right.
So these people who I've been played cricket with, they said, and they used to call me San. They used to still call me Sani. They don't call me by my first name, Gaurav. And then they Sani, when you come to our office, you make sure that you have this particular document. And if you don't know anybody in coating manufacture, let me pick up the phone for you.
Wow. That's the power of networking, also, I would
So
say.
yes, the power of networking. That's knowing people, knowing good people, and not knowing good people, knowing everyone. Because my thought process is this: if somebody is doing even bad to you, you better do good to others.
Wonderful, sir.
So if I'm learning, if somebody is still doing anything bad to me, or he don't want to work with me, or he's still complaining about me, I still take that as a positive, and I make sure that I deliver the best.
You know what it reminded me of, sir? It's my first teacher, Swami Vivekanand ji. I don't know if you've heard of him. He always quotes this, that good, good, bad, bad, none escape the law. That's what I think you're trying to get, that if you do bad, bad will definitely come back to you in certain period of time. So I believe you also follow the same philosophy.
Correct.
And it works.
Yeah, because like negative, positive, we need to charge, right?
Absolutely.
So if I don't have a bad influence, how I will say that, okay, there's nobody is bad in this world. There's nobody is wrong in this world. It's just the consequences are making you bad.
Beautiful.
So if me is say positive, I'm positive and somebody is negative, okay, fine. But if we come together, we will make a charge, right? So the battery is charged. So we need to charge the world with the good vibes.
Beautiful, sir. Beautiful. So I was looking at TICO yesterday, and I saw that the IMO 2020 regulations, when they were coming into force, you were perhaps you were first to understand it and take it seriously. Am I right?
Yeah. So it's a story about few customers who has contacted us, who has contacted many our competitor as well, and then they ask us to visit their office. I'm not naming anyone, but I went to their office, and then I also understand my competitors and other people also went to their office, and then they're like, IMO 2020 regulation, like caustic soda for your closed and hybrid scrubber system for sulfur reduction. and urea for your SCR system for NOx reduction. These are the two raw material required for IMO 2020 regulations coming up. So everybody said, okay, we have chemicals, we can supply you chemicals. They asked me what you can do. He said, I can deliver the chemical on ship.
Okay.
That's the only difference. I said that. And how we do it, because everybody starts selling chemicals and I was selling logistics
End to end, that means.
end to end. So means I didn't just say, okay, this scrubber system required 20 cubic of caustic soda or urea for SCR system. I said, wherever you need this 20 cubic, I will make sure it's in the tank. So it's not the owner or charter responsibility to take the chemical on the shore side and put it on the board by themselves. So we create a logistic chain.
Right.
Like we can have a trucks, we can have a manpower, we can have a hoses, we can have the barges, we can have a packaging of IBCs. We can lift it, the IBCs of the poop deck, then we can connect with the air hose, we can connect with the chemical hose, and then we can pump into the tanks, So we can provide you entire solution. And I make sure that me, first guy, can go to the shipyard. So we remember this a very remote shipyard in Korea.
Okay.
And we got this project done. And then we were competitive in our product and services, though they have given us this business not to our competitor, because we are providing them logistic services which nobody is giving it. And then I went there personally and I connect the hoses by myself. And I pump the caustic soda on the ship.
Oh, you were manually inside the tank?
Yeah, I was pumping it.
Yeah.
And with my entire team, my logistic team, and I was doing that. And then the client was there and the owner, I think somebody saw me, and then they asked who this guy is. It doesn't look Korean.
Yeah.
So, and then they asked, he's a supplier from Tico Chemicals. And then they called me to the deck side, on the deck, on the bridge. So I was sitting in the bridge and having the meeting. And then there's a mess area there.
Right.
So they were eating food, and then they have you eaten your food? I said, no, sir. I came this morning, so I didn't eat any food. I make sure that I pump the caustic soda, then I can eat food. He said, you sit down here and eat food. So I eat food, and then there itself they told me, okay, for their next 50 ships, they will give it to me. So that's a change. I saw it because I was always wanted to learn something. Make sure that you know what you are doing it, how you're delivering it. So your customer is aware that you're putting every effort to make this supply to be happen perfectly.
So I personally think you go one step extra. You call it that extra mile in our shipping terms also. I think we call it the extra mile to go and deliver, and at least the customer sees the amount of effort you put.
Yeah.
Am I right to say that gave you a big advantage from the competitors?
I mean, I'm not competing with my competitor. I'm competing with myself.
Beautiful, sir.
So I'm putting benchmark on myself that, okay, if I can do this, I need to do better than myself. I don't want to compete with my competitors, because this is not a war.
Right.
This is something that you need to do better. You need to provide better services. So this is how the game is.
Absolutely. When you were doing all this, sir, I'm sure, and it comes to all of us, there's a lot of sacrifice involved. It could be your family, it could be something else, perhaps your hobbies or something. Let's talk about I see you now as a managing partner of one of the greatest companies. People who are watching will see you now, perhaps you have earned good now and you're in a very good position. But I want to highlight something, that there's a lot of sacrifice which you already told me about. But during the time in Singapore, when you were saying you were doing 20 hours work, 4 hours restless sleep, I'm sure the family must be taking a toll as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, there is a big, there's a time when, I used to remember that when I hold my daughter in my arms, she will sleep in 4 to 5 minutes. and I feel very happy about it. But there's a time it comes that I miss 4 years of my life, which I have a big regret, okay, about it, that I missed that 4 years of period. I couldn't able to spend time with my daughter.
When she was young, like
Young
very
age.
young.
Like she was like 3 to 7 to 8 years old, 4 to 5 years.
That's like, I don't know, I don't have a kid yet, but that's like the prime time of them also understanding the parents perhaps first.
Yeah, means like, so, like I mentioned that I used to hold her in my arm and she will sleep in 5 minutes. Today she is 11. So even if I knock her door now and then can I come in, can I come and see you? And then I need to hug her for 5 minutes. And she said, oh, daddy, it's now time, it's 10 p.m. now. Why don't you go to sleep? I need to also go to school tomorrow morning. So I feel like I try to recover that 4 years in a way, but I couldn't get it back because I feel that I completely lost it.
Is
I
this
cannot
Yeah.
bring it back. So this is something.
It's like still the biggest regret you have in your heart?
There are many others, but I would say that uh, um, personal level, my wife struggles a lot with me. So we always say that there is a woman behind anybody who's successful, or so she is the pillar of
Your strength?
my strength. So she's always been there for
Mhm.
me, and she always tell me, if today it didn't happen, it will happen tomorrow. Whatever happened, it's happened for good. Whatever happened, is happened with a God wish. So you continue doing what you're doing, and things will fall in place.
Right, sir. So, are you, just very personal question, are you passionate about this maritime industry in the coming future, or what do you think about it in the coming future?
I'm very passionate about it. We are working on decarbonization itself. So yes, we are very much into it. And this is my life now.
Right.
I have given my life to the industry, to the maritime sector, to the company. And I also want my daughter to be a part of it.
Yes.
But I'm not going to push her to do that.
Is she inclined to looking at ships from the Singapore harbor, like Keppel Harbor or something? Is she enamored by the size of these ships and all?
Well, she's watching my YouTube videos, so I think
Yeah.
that's encouraging her somehow. But
Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
I don't know about it, but yes.
You think it's a good industry to, like, to come in the next decade? Like for young professionals, suppose they're in marketing or sales, no background of maritime, would you recommend them to come into this industry and explore?
I feel like maritime sector is not like so technical sector anymore. I can see now so much business development roles coming into ship management as well, right? These business development role has to go to the owners to give them a ship.
Right.
So I believe there are a lot of other roles been coming up, maybe as a marketing role, maybe as a in-house production role, a training role. Is it could be a HR professional sometimes. We are talking about mental strength,
Right.
right?
Right.
But yes, so I believe it's an industry. It could be for anyone who's not from this industry even.
And so you are a leading example of that. And that's why perhaps when I was preparing to have you here, I was just curious and excited that someone from a non-maritime background has made it big in maritime industry without the prior knowledge of, suppose, college and all of that, which like your father and my father used to believe in, and yet you shape shifted that. So I think that's commendable, sir, and thank you for enlightening us about that. Coming on that, sir, as young professionals like us, would you want to give us some advice, like the things you regret now and you think you did not do right in terms of personal? Any advice you want to give to young entrepreneurs that don't focus too much on this, instead focus on that, something like that?
I mean, you need to just
Hmm.
work hard, I guess. That's the only way to be successful.
Hmm.
There is no other shortcut. You need to forget about your sleep. You need to forget about your food. You just need to work hard. there will be a time comes that you will feel if things are not working, but make sure every day should be better than yesterday.
Oh, wonderful.
If you continue doing that day after day after day after, one day it will come, you know. So it's a time taking process. Things will not come like that. So like young age to, for example, 0 to 35. So I said that if you really work hard and you see a lot of struggle until the age of 35, then your 36 to 70 will be better. But if you want to live your lavish life, or you want to be a person that, oh, I want to enjoy my younghood life and I want to be, be on street and do whatever I would like to do, then it could be possible that 36 to 70 will not be fun for you.
Actually, yeah,
You have to
yeah,
keep, you need to thought about it. You need to think about it, that what you want to do.
right. And what I've also understood working with many captains, senior captains, is that only after the age of 35, like you said, and 40, they start reaping the fruits of what they have sacrificed in the age which you said till 35. So I think that holds true in the shoreside industry as well.
Yeah.
Right, sir?
That's true. That's true. For example, with me, even like from I could recall, like after 36, 37, I start
Yep.
knowing more things, because I can correlate that, okay, now I can spend some extra time with my family now, and
Right.
I can have that kind of a quality time, and
Right.
which I was not having it before. Or maybe I can bring extra bread home, you know,
Wonderful. Yep.
and or if I'm bringing the butter earlier, then I can even bring a coffee this time with me. So you need to do something more first initially. So it's better you see the worst time in the young age, not to suffer into your mid age or the older time.
So for me personally, that is the biggest takeaway from this conversation, and you have lived it. When you were speaking about all of this, sir, I realized that there is some elements of empathy which have come into you really hard. Like you empathize with others. Like you said, कोई बुरा नहीं है इस दुनिया में, or nobody is bad in this world. How is this empathy placed a role in you reaching this position? Has it played a role or has it not played a role? This empathizing with others.
I mean, it's always, there's nobody bad in this world, which I always say, because again, consequences make things to go worst. I always feel is that is a karma. Whatever you do, it will come back. It will happen with you. What goes around, you will see it.
Absolutely.
So try to do as much as best you can. This is what I learned. So I try to do as much as I can. So it's a philosophy, right? I was listening to one podcast,
Please tell, sir.
and this guy was saying that if you don't love your wife, your neighbor will love your wife.
Right.
And then he said, if you don't love your employee, your competitor will love.
Oh, beautiful. On that note, sir, today on LinkedIn, I was seeing that there was a job offer being sent to many candidates, and there was a candidate who was asking for $80,000 for her role. And this guy who was the interviewer came back to the senior there and told him that she's asking 80K. So this senior said, just go for $60,000 and then we'll negotiate. Just try that. And it backfired. That lady who was supposed to be a very good candidate said, I don't want this role anymore because you don't value what I'm bringing to the table. So I think that's something which also struck in my head, that yes, value is not directly related to what you how do you say, what you get in terms of salary, but what you can give to the company. And you have to have a certain self respect and self dignity to pitch across yourself that no, I'm going to stand for my role, right? So yeah, a lot of takeaways. In fact, like this podcasts are now helping a lot of youngsters also, sir.
Yep.
Absolutely.
That's true.
And suppose, sir, you are here at this age in your prime, enlightening us with so many values, which even if I use 1% of it in my life practically and not just listening to this podcast and going away, it can really shape shift my career, also my personal life. Like you were emphasizing on your personal life, your lady luck, your daughter was the one who actually got you into this field and give you the motivation to have another cup of coffee or a bread on the table because now you have another person to feed.
Yeah, motivation can come from anywhere. And motivation also come from the parents,
Right.
Because like I always say that you always live your parents' dream.
Mm.
I lived my parents' dream. So I still remember while talking that uh, there is one cinema in Old Delhi, and my
Right.
father used to take us once a month. Any new movie comes, and then he said, "Okay, let's go and watch movie." So we had this old type scooter. I still remember white color scooter, and then this LML, and then he asked me to, okay, you stand in the front, my mother sitting behind, and my younger sister on the lap, sitting on my mother's lap.
Okay.
Okay, and then
Yeah.
we come from that location to this location to watch a movie, and this every in these movies, most of the shooting have done in hill station side, in the mountains,
Beautiful scenery.
all the beautiful scenic.
Yeah.
And my father used to say, "Oh, I will take you one day to, all these mountains in Uttarakhand or in Himachal Pradesh or this and that." And then he said, "But let me, save some money." And then one day he saved some money, and then he took us there one time. So he started telling me, "Okay, this look at these mountains. They are so beautiful. They are so beautiful. We should have one home here one day."
Yeah.
And then we came back, and then he said, "Okay, now it's very difficult to go every time in the buses. Your sister is also growing up,
Right.
and sometimes it is not that safe."
Yep.
And India was not
Not the best.
that the best at that time. So let me save some money first to get a second hand some car, and then we can go. Then by the time we reach
Yeah.
to the higher secondary schools, already from primary to secondary, it take time to save some money to
Right.
get a car. He get a car, and then he tell me, "Oh, I wish I would have a home here."
Yeah.
So this is the motivation I'm talking about.
Right.
And then he retired one day. So he couldn't have the house because he spent all his saving, all his money on my education, on my sister education, on my sister marriage, everything he has spent. So left with none. So after recently, few years back, 2020, 2019 or 2020, when I became the partner in the company, and then I decided I want to give a gift to my dad, a house in the mountain.
You caught him?
I got it. So I said,
Yeah.
if it is your dream, this is what you have been dreaming, and then you want me to live your dream. So why don't I fulfill one dream of you
Beautiful.
before you say goodbye to this world?
Beautiful.
So at least as a child, I can do that, right? So I did that for him, and I give that house to him. So again, referring a podcast, I was listening to another podcast because I'm not on the social media, but I get some forwarding sometimes. So I just
Open it.
And then he said, one of the celebrity, I was an Indian celebrity, is saying that, "Oh, mother always hold their child in their arms, and they talk about, oh, my son, okay, I will not leave you alone, and this and that. And father always put his child on his shoulder and ask him to see further."
Oh, wow.
So if my father has a dream to see that further, why wouldn't I have that dream to see further for him?
Oh, wonderful, sir.
So this is a motivation.
Wonderful, sir.
So I always wanted to build a home in mountains.
And
Always and always. And I cannot do it without money.
absolutely. Money is that energy which is required.
I mean, love is necessary, happiness is necessary, but this intangible thing becomes so tangible when you need to fulfill sometime your emotions.
As straight and crisp as one can put. Absolutely.
So this becomes so tangible
Mm.
that you cannot fulfill your dream without money anymore. So I spend all my savings for my dad for that. So I said, okay, fine. If that can fulfill your dream, which is my dream, which you have incorporated into my head,
Correct.
so let's make it our dream to be
Give it back.
give it back. So yes, that's a motivation.
So is this the reason why you are also involved in a lot of CSR work back in Singapore?
I believe in karma. I believe because I went to this CSR community place where these old people are staying there. Some children have left their parents and asked them to stay there. And some of them does not have a children before. Or some of them get separated or for some reasons. So when I see those, some of them are physically challenged. So when I see them and then I feel like that, why our Christmas are full of lights and they are not. So if I can give them something which is very common for you and me to have a rice and a vegetables at one given time, that's not common for them.
Absolutely. And like you witnessed in Africa, the joy and laughter in small.
So when I go and do this community service, which we do once a year only, which we don't do it every day, but we try to do it as much as we can. So we go and meet all these families. There's 60 to 70 or 80 families living in that area. And we try to give them certain kind of a food so that they feel that at least their Christmas is also not that bad. So I want them to feel that they deserve this. So if I could be a part of that, I'm okay. Means I don't want to say that I did it for some reasons. I just did it for my own reasons. Because I want to tell myself that at least before I die, at least I try to do something better for myself and try to be a good human. Just try to be a good human.
Beautiful, sir. I had a burning question, sir. Really burning. And it was like, how did you get a company's revenue from $600,000 to $33 million in 7 years?
Now we're more than 50.
More than 50 now. Yes.
Pure sales thing. So we had this central business district area in Singapore. So I get into the MRT from my office, which was in the west part of Singapore, and then I get down there and then I try to meet as much as people I can. So whoever I call, sometimes they say they are busy. They're busy. They're busy. Call me next week. But I know their office is at this Suntec Tower, Millennia Tower, this tower, that tower. So I go stand near to the lift during 12 p.m. And I wait for them with the brochure in my hand and everything. And then I look at their face. Hey, sir, you're here, sir. Oh, sorry, sir. I was just passing by, but I was there deliberately. I was making sure that at least I say him hello. He say, I didn't have time, sir. Okay, sir, you were walking towards to your lunch place. Can I just walk with you for 5 minutes? And then at the end, he said, Gaurav, what do you want? I said, I just want you to ask me, do you have this chemical in this part of the world? And please send me the inquiry when everybody tell you that they don't have the stock. So I got one time that email from someone. And then I somehow managed to crack that. Then he starts sending me inquiry for a normal pots, like a common pots.
Right.
like Singapore, China,
Hmm.
India, Fujairah. But I just want him to just ask me
Hmm.
one time,
Beautiful.
can you please send me inquiry? So if you do this
Hmm.
with 20 people in a day,
Hmm.
at least 2 people will give you business after 20 days.
I think this all the sales marketing people if they are watching this is like the greatest advice to not give up only on one or two, right? Make 20, 30.
Meet maximum people you can. Meet people who can give you business. Meet people who can help you to get business. Meet people whose relative is the person who can give you business. But make sure that you did your work with full honesty, loyalty, and continue the sales process, which is keep knocking the door.
Beautiful. Sir, I had put a question here on Instagram today that you are coming on the show and what else you would like people would like to learn from you. There were very common question which came. How do you find the right target audience to sell your product?
Right target audience.
Yes.
There's nobody's right or wrong audience. Okay? I'm talking to you. You might talk to someone else and who could be your right audience, and you don't know that audience. The word of mouth plays a big role. Definitely, you need to prepare your sales pitch. You need to find out who's your end customers, whether this particular chemical should be bought by the owner or a charter or a manager or who. Yes, whether it's the operation department will take, whether marine department will take, or whether technical department will take. Yes, you need to do that kind of a study for sure. But keep talking to people from the same industry. Sometimes a finance guy in a ship management can also help you to connect to the right marine superintendent who's ordering chemicals.
As crisp as that, yes.
So just keep talking to people. One day you will get someone who is the right audience.
So, what are these communication means? Like, do you think LinkedIn is a good platform to connect to people?
I mean, the social media is playing a bigger role these days, but I still feel like personal touch is the best. So today, I always try to go out and meet maximum people I can. Now I have a worldwide team. I have people sitting in Greece, Norway, Singapore, Turkey, Dubai, India. We have teams, US. So they are doing the door-to-door sales these days.
Right.
And but I still feel that I should be a part of it. I still do that. I still go out on the field. I still find out what is wrong. I love to hear what I'm not doing right. Because what I'm doing right, if somebody is, there is a saying that if the devil is not following you, means you're doing something wrong. And if the devil is following you,
Yes.
means something you're doing right.
Very profound, actually, and very deep to understand it. Yes.
So if the devil is following me,
Yes. Something is right.
something is right. Means he don't want me to do right thing, because that's why the devil is there in the world.
Right. Right.
So it's okay.
Another question which came up was, what is the secret formula for a successful marketing or sales career?
Secret formula.
Yeah, if there is.
I don't think so there is any secret formula. Luck really play a big part, but consistency plays the best out of it. Sometimes you don't have a knowledge of a product, like I do not have it in the beginning. But what I was trying to tell them, sir, please give me one chance. Just give me one chance. If I fail, please throw me out of your office and never allowed to come inside this, even in your building. But just give me one chance. So consistency plays the biggest role. Product knowledge, you can learn it. That's not a problem. I learned it. Everybody can learn it. It's not about product knowledge. It's all about consistency. It's all about talking to the right person. It's all about good listener.
Right.
Somebody is telling you your product is bad, is okay. Accept that. You are right. My product is bad. I will fix it. let me come back to you, sir, next month or 2 months or 3 months. Give me a chance. I will improve myself. Then you go back, find out what is wrong, work on it, and go back again. There is no harm of trying. You keep knocking, keep trying, keep trying, keep trying. You know?
Yep.
So same thing is, you know, if you keep talking to the God, you know, one day
He will listen.
he will listen.
Wonderful, sir. I mean, this was one of the most heartfelt conversations I've had so far. And we've done quite a few episodes, but I personally felt like you were a big brother talking to me and making me understand ki, hey boy, this is what you can do. Learn from me.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you could come to India and we could do this in such a short time, sir. Honored to have you. Any other advice would you like to give to the audience or something you want to say?
I don't want to say anything except respect your parents, respect your family, and love everyone. That's the best advice I could ever give it. And I will repeat it. There is nobody is wrong in this world. It's just the circumstances make you wrong. So keep working hard. Success is not an easy thing to have. But if you continue working, you will have so much of failure. Your equilibrium can go up, but the graph still moving like this.
Sinusoidal.
It will go on and go on and go on. So everything right will not be right all the time. You will fall, but you will rise up again. So bad times are meant to be happen because the good time is in front. Beautiful. So things will fall in place. That's all.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gaurav sir on the KSN show. So happy you were here, sir. Have
Thank
to
you.
shake a hand with you. Sir.
Thank you.
Loved it.
Thank
Thank you so much, sir, and hoping to get you back the near future. An honor to have you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So that was Gaurav Saini on the KSN show. To be honest, this was the most candid and the most heartfelt conversation I've ever had with the $1 million tycoon in this room. So lots to take away. I hope you all like the show and do let us know in the comment section who you would like to see on this platform and we'll do our best to get them. Signing off KSN. See you back next Thursday.